Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Roughie's Football Show, sponsored by Arnold Clark. I'm Peter Martin, Barry Ferguson, Tam McManus and Alan Rough here as ever with me. Delighted you could join us on the programme. You can like, share and follow us on Facebook. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. It costs you absolutely nothing to join the football family. We'd love to have you on board to talk about your favourite team and, of course, anything else that's bugging you in Scottish football. Or you could come on and be positive about something in Scottish football as well. There's so many people, as ever, have emailed me. Thanks to the countless amount of people who have emailed us, basically talking about the backgrounds, the Roughie's pictures, which are still annoying a few people. I can't believe we're still getting emails about the angle of Roughie's pictures. And lots of people just mentioning to us that they would love a mention from the likes of Barry, Tam and Roughie. So we'll try and get through as many of them as we possibly can. I want to say hi to Dennis Boyle, 60 at the weekend there. So happy birthday, Dennis. I think, Roughie, you remember 60. It's a great occasion. Dennis has had more than a few very famous people wish him a happy birthday. So I'm sure you being added to it would be brilliant.
Yeah, 60 is fantastic. All of a sudden it just creeps up in you. But as long as you're a young 60 and you're very active and you're still firing on all cylinders, that's the most important thing.
Barry will keep you firing on all cylinders, Roughie.
Yeah. I was about to say, never a truer word spoken. I mean, talk about nailing it. Roughie, only you could come up with something like that. Anyway, it's good to know that even at 68, he's firing on all cylinders. And the good news is, Dennis, there's hope for you yet. You've still got another 8 years if you do anything like Roughie. Anyway, apart from anything else, great to have you all on board. Lots to talk about, and of course, lots of football discussion as we get ever closer. I don't know about you, Roughie, but I can't wait for us to be talking about the football only days away. We'd love to be talking about it with fans flocking back to the stadiums up and down the country.
Yeah, ever since we've started now with the behind closed doors, you can feel people now trying to get ways of having fans into the stadiums. People are obviously behind the scenes thinking about so many ways, that they could start off maybe bringing 1,000 in, or school kids in, or somebody in, and then just moving on day by day. But I think we all want. We've been watching all the games behind closed door, although the audio is very good. It's just not the same. I thought it was good last night at the Arsenal game when the boy got the red card. You could hear the audio going, "Oh no!" in the background. That was brilliant.
I think they've got somebody now, quite literally, with a whole array of emotions, Tam, to try and create something of an atmosphere in this one.
Yeah, they have. I like it. I'd rather that than nothing at the game. As long as it's on time, as long as it's right after the chance or a goal or something, not a couple of seconds or 10, 15 seconds later, it's just ridiculous. But I've quite enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the emotions of the game. It just makes it feel a little bit better. And obviously the cardboard cutouts in the stadiums as well. I know it's not supporters, but it looks as if there's a few fans in as well. So yeah, they're trying everything they can.
Can I just say, Peter, although we're watching the telly and we're getting the noise and all that, what are the actual players getting on the park?
Shouts from their manager. It's as simple as that, Roughie.
They're not getting anything we're getting.
No, you can have two options on it. You can have the main one, the main live feed, which is the fake noise in the background, or you can go to a secondary channel where it's just basically the shouts from the players. And that gives it very much, Barry, that training ground feel about it. But the players have to be professional.
Yeah, Peter, it must be hard. I mean, I'm sure the guys will agree. You want to play in front of fans. That, for me, the fans make football matches with the atmosphere. But as you say, these guys are professional, Peter. It'll not be the same. But at the same time, they're going out and they need to win games of football. So I'm pretty sure that they'll be as professional as possible. But as I say, it must be difficult at times. But listen, they're trying their best. And as you see when the games start to, they get 3 or 4 games under the belt, you see the quality and the standard now starting to step up a bit each time.
Yeah, absolutely. And good to see, Roughie. I don't know if you're aware of it, but two Scottish players that I've been keeping my eye on. Billy Gilmore, I thought was neat and tidy for Chelsea. I'm not too sure Gary Neville, when he was talking about him, was a wee bit complimentary. He was more complimentary when Jorginho come on as a substitute. But Billy Gilmore's just finding his way to hold his place down in a Chelsea, team is magnificent.
Yeah, but that's the problem. We've always had, Peter. We've always had that with English media. Any Scottish players coming down, trying to feel their way. I never thought that the English media were very positive in any players going down there until they actually established themselves. And you've got to realise that. I mean, Billy Gilmore and Kieran Tierney have got to bed themselves in there. Obviously Kieran down in London, it'll be a new thing for him down there. The pressures, I know, will be unbelievable at Celtic, but I would imagine being down in London, there'd be more media attention. He'd have to deal with all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think they need to give these young kids some time and be positive rather than be negative.
Yeah, I think it was more. It was more on the case. I think that he was saying Jorginho was more direct and making more happening because he felt as if the midfield was being overrun. He wasn't being unbelievably negative towards Billy Gilmore, but that's the learning curve, Barry. Billy Gilmore's a really good midfielder. Frank Lampard will work on him to say, now go and kill teams with all that ability you've got.
I've no doubt in my mind, Peter. I'll bet Gary Neville that Billy Gilmore will be a mainstay in that Chelsea team. Listen, he was good. It wasn't his top game, but listen, you're going to get games like that. That boy has got everything going for him. If he continues to work hard and train hard, and you hear Frank Lampard and Jody Morris talk quite a lot about him, that he's wanting to stay behind after sessions and work on things. For me, I love watching the guy. He doesn't mind taking the ball under pressure, Peter. And what a player we're going to have in our hands for the national team. I have no doubt about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of people joining us on Facebook and, of course, also joining us on YouTube as well. So great to have you on board. Like, share and follow us and subscribe if you can. Tam, no surprise. I think Florian Kamberi would much rather there was a permanent move to Rangers. There's a wee suggestion that it's a possible other loan deal, but I don't think Kamberi wants that. I think he's looking and saying, make it a permanent deal, and Greg Docherty might go the other way to Hibs.
Yeah, listen, that'd be a great swap, I think, for both, really. I think Docherty done really well for Hibs. I'll always liked him at Hamilton Accies. He's got a great engine. He's a really fit boy up and down. He can get in the box and score goals. And the Hibs fans really took to him straight away, so that a lot of Hibs supporters would want him back. And Kamberi, I thought he'd done pretty well at Rangers. He changed the game a couple of times when he came on as a sub. And I think he'd be a decent player, impact player. I don't think he's going to play every week. But coming off the bench, maybe 20 to go, he's got a wee bit of spark about him, maybe get a goal or create something. As you've seen up at St Johnstone, he came on and done really well second half in that game. So I think it'd be great for both. I don't think there's a future for Kamberi at Hibs. I think he made his bed straight away when he proclaimed his love for Rangers when he was only on loan. I think that was a mistake, a little bit of naivety on his part. But I think that if that deal happens, I think both managers, both sets of fans would be pretty pleased.
Yeah, absolutely. Barry, Kamberi, did he show enough for you to merit Rangers digging into the kitty?
Well, Peter, I'll be honest with you, when Rangers first made the move and they brought him to Ibrox, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't too sure, but I agree with what Tam says there. A couple of games he come on, he changed the game, and one thing you can't dig him at was his effort and his application. I thought every time he was on the pitch for Rangers, he gave 100%, and that's all you can ask, Peter, for a player. So, look, I think it would work good for both clubs. I think Greg's at an age now that Greg needs to go and play week in, week out as well. I like him. I've always liked Greg Docherty. I just think he'll find it hard to get into that Rangers midfield. So I think it would work for both clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to a lot of people posting messages. We'll try and put as many of them as we can to Roughie, Tam and Barry and myself over the course of this. Hi to Alison Carroll, who's always with us. Gary McGowan agrees with you, Barry. He says Billy Gilmore will become a top player. Gilmore will come good, says Tony Holton Sr. Listen, he looks good to me right now, and that's him not even getting to the full potential.
Peter, Peter, he's not even matured yet. He's still got a bit of
still a
growing
kid.
and matured. Yeah, he's got another 2 or 3 years, and I tell you what, the guy's got everything going for him, and once he fully matures into the man that he's going to be, he's going to what a player the boy.
Barry.
And do you know what? I'm not even putting pressure on him because I think he knows he's that good, but I think he's got a great mindset, Peter. He's got a great work ethic about him, and you hear any coaches and players that have played with him, they all say the same thing about him. So I've got no qualms that he'll be
Barry,
top
I think
class.
it's great for the national team as well. You've got Billy Gilmer holding down a place in the Chelsea team. You've got Tierney now looking the part at Arsenal, McTominay at Man United, Robertson at Liverpool. So you've got 4 guys playing with the 4 top clubs in England who are mainstays in their squad at least. Great for
I'll tell you
Scotland.
one thing,
All you need to listen to Ashley Cole, what he said about Kieran Tierney.
Yeah.
For me, Ashley Cole in his prime was the best left back probably in the world. For me, I thought he was a fantastic attacking fullback. And what he says about Kieran Tierney, spot on. He just needed a bit of time to bed himself in. He said a few injury problems, but do you know what? We should be glad that we've got these sort of players that playing week in, week out of these sort of clubs.
Yeah. Roughie, you'll never believe this. You know how I was telling you I was opening boxes and finding all sorts of memorabilia. I found the official programme for Argentina World Cup 1978. And I had a look at the initial squad of all the players that Ali MacLeod had to pick from, and boy, it was like a who's who of the best of Scottish football. 90% of them all playing, with top clubs in England, and of course top clubs in Scotland. I'm just looking right now, and I'm thinking to myself, Tierney last night, everybody was talking about him. We are starting to get a nice nucleus, I think, of a good, strong 7 or 8. If only we could find a couple more, Roughie, in the key areas, then I think we would really be in a situation where maybe we could get that, Gallus, arrogant swagger back again.
That's what I was going to say. Tam's hit it on the head. If you're playing with a Chelsea or an Arsenal or a Man United, you've got a swagger in you because you're playing with a top club and you're playing against the top players possibly in Europe, playing at all these other teams, and you're holding your own against them. And then when you come into a Scotland team, you've got a swagger about you. I mean, you saw Souness, you saw even we Asa Hartford and these guys. They come Man City. They were playing with in Liverpool. They had a confidence about them, that they weren't frightened of anybody. And these boys are doing it, I think, a lot younger than what they did. So, as Barry said, in 2 or 3 years, you're going to get the right benefit of them. But that's the problem. There are positions that we need to fill, to complement all these young players that are coming through.
I don't know what the guys think, Peter. Sorry. I don't know what the guys think. I would like to see McTominay at centre-half. I've been thinking about it a lot, and just the way watching the way he plays, I just think he'd be ideal at centre back because we've got a lot of options in the middle of the park. So McTominay centre half, I think, is a stick on for me.
He's got the size and the build, Tam. That's for sure. Yeah. He's definitely.
And you don't dare.
I heard somebody. I heard somebody say that. I've been watching Man U closely, and I can see the difference since they've come back from the COVID-19 stuff. They're a team that's looked pretty decent, and I don't know if it was Gary Neville or sure. I can't remember. Somebody mentioned that in the next year or two they will see McTominay falling back into that centre half position. But he could play it. There's no doubt about it. He could play it.
It's an interesting one. I always find though you have to learn that position, Roughie, especially at the top level, because you only have to look at David Luiz moving back into a central defensive partnership, and then you start looking at games through your hands, because he scares me. But it's interesting because you guys are talking about where McTominay might drop back into. We still haven't solved the centre half position. I hope Ryan Porteous gets an injury-free run to suddenly develop into the player that I think he's going to become. But the key area here, guys, and this is only because I've spoken to Steve Clarke before about this, he's going to have to work out where he's going to play Kieran Tierney and Andy Robertson. I think, Scotland might get to a 3-5-2 at some point, which drops into a 5-3-2, as you know. Tierney looks as if he could bomb forward all day long, but so does Robertson. And Tierney doesn't want to play right back or right full-back bombing forward on the opposite side. It just doesn't suit him.
See if he goes with a 3, Peter, which I think he might. Kieran Tierney's the better defender for me.
Yes.
You play him left centre back.
Well, that's where he wants to play.
Over 3.
Yep.
And McTominay's the spare man.
And Portis, because I tell you what, I would hang my hat on Portis. I just hope, as you say, Peter, that boy comes back and he's injury-free and he plays a full season. I've got big expectations of that boy. And then Tierney on the left side, and then Robbo, he's like he loves bombing forward. A wing-back position would be right up his street for me. So I see where you're coming from. I think a 3-5-2 going forward would be a great formation for the national team.
Yeah, somebody's just saying to us, due to the lack of goalkeepers at Celtic, Roughie, do you fancy making a comeback? I just thought might just be beyond you.
If I thought I had a chance, I'd be there tomorrow morning at 9:30. And
yes.
I'll negotiate my wages after the training.
Exactly. And of course, the other good thing about it, Roughie's first chat in the dressing room would be, "Okay, Ayer, I don't come for any cross balls whatsoever. You need to get everything in the box. I'm not coming for any cross."
Dracula.
That was fun. That was funny. I don't know what day it was. We were debating about goalkeepers, and again, I watched it last night at Arsenal. The Arsenal game, and I don't think the two guys were on. And I'll say it again, when was the last time you saw a goalkeeper catching a ball? I have never seen a goalkeeper catching a ball. And I know why. I know the balls are lighter and I know they're moving all over the place, but it's incredible how much the game has moved on. I mean, I watched yesterday afternoon, Ronaldo's greatest moments, and some of the free kicks are just obscene. The way he's kicking the ball, it's just, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Yeah. What else do you get to watch when you're just relaxing, Roughie? It's just
that's afternoon.
I mean, honestly.
That's the afternoon stuff. I could tell you about the night stuff, but I don't think we're going to that.
No, we're not going that way. Anyway, the other thing I was going to say to you guys, you're such a moron, you really are. The other thing I was going to say to you guys is, what about by the way, Roughie, just news that obviously will be filtering through to you at some point. A number of clubs have said they're going to help with the Hearts, Thistle, the Dundee United, Wraith Rovers, and Cove with the situation going to arbitration. The costs that are involved with the legal costs. So that's heartening that a number of clubs are going to help them out. Obviously, it doesn't suit you in Hearts, but nevertheless, you've got a few billionaires in the background helping your case.
Yeah, I don't know who it is. It's financing ours, but thanks very much to him. But I thought Wraith Rovers had got about 100,000 for their supporters. So it's amazing. I mean, I don't want to get down that. I mean, it's amazing now they're all worried about their own finances and never giving a hoot about Hearts and Thistle and Stranraer. So it just shows you it's black and white. So. I feel sorry for them, I really do. But I've said it all along. They're brought into this because of the procedure of what you have to do to go down the proper channels. I don't think for a minute, if you were to say to Anne Budge and Jackie Lowe, do you want to stop them getting promoted? I think you would get a right answer. Yeah,
my gut feeling on this, Barry, is, I've been pro Hearts since the start. I make no bones about it. I'm certainly not going to make any excuses for it. I am pro the situation that I think it's an injustice. Same with Thistle. Same with Stranraer. Financially, I think the outcome will be you get compensation. But I don't know if you feel this, Barry. I feel as if there's the narrative and the opinion is slowly but surely going against Hearts and Thistle now. There's a groundswell of people who are just, they've got it in for them.
Yeah, but I expected this, Peter. This wouldn't happen if we go way back and we sorted out the best way forward for Scottish football was the reconstruction of the leagues, the 14 and 310s. I don't think any of this would have, it certainly wouldn't have happened. But listen, I don't blame Hearts for 1 minute and Partick Thistle and Stranraer. If you ask any other club, any other chairman, they would have done the same thing. And as what Roughie says, if you ask Hearts and Partick, they wouldn't want to bring Dundee United into this. They wouldn't want to bring Wraith Rovers and Cove into this either. So it's a mess. And for me, the full thing would have been avoidable if every club went for the 14 and 310s, and we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it, we'd be sitting thinking, right, we're looking forward to a new setup in Scottish football.
Jimmy Devlin says, what's the latest with Fraser Forster? Well, the latest is Celtic are still waiting for him to declare his hand on this time.
Yeah, I think it's down to Fraser Forster, to be honest with you. I think Celtic are prepared to stump up the money from what I'm hearing. The transfer fees can have been agreed in principle, but he's on 70 grand a week at Southampton, so that's a problem. He's going to come up to Celtic and maybe be on 20, 25 at most. Now, to a lot of people, that's still a lot of money, but to drop from 70 grand to 20 grand, he's going to maybe look for a sweetener from Southampton, maybe a few quid in his tail to leave. I don't know what the situation is, but I think it's down to Fraser Forster now. If he wants to come and play for Celtic and take a big hit in money, then it's up to him. But I wouldn't blame him for staying at Southampton and picking his money up because, as we've always said in this show, it's a short career and you've got to look after yourself. So I think it's firmly in Fraser Forster's, hands what he wants to do.
Yeah, and Barry, Stoke City are trying to steal a march on if David Marshall was a fallback option for Celtic, then Stoke City are sniffing about him. And over and above David Marshall, Stoke City also being linked with a move for David Turnbull. So clearly, Turnbull hasn't kicked a ball yet. I think if anything, Turnbull should have 6 months back at Motherwell, just settle down and see if he can get himself fit.
Yeah, regarding Marsh, I'm not surprised at a club like Stoke City. I think Marsh is a good goalkeeper. But listen, I think Celtic will be desperate to get Fraser Forster back. He's a massive player for them, Peter. A massive player. They'll be worried in the background. Celtic will be slightly worried that they want somebody that quality coming in. And Turnbull, Peter, you know what I think of him. I think he's a fantastic... Another player that I think I've got high expectations of. I think he's a guy that could go and be a future Scotland player. You obviously seen the wee documentary that Motherwell done with him. I think it was a 30-minute thing on their own TV. I thought it was great. He looks a real down-to-earth boy as well, so I wouldn't expect that he would be enticed to move. He knows that he needs to get back and play in at least 20, 30 games. And then when he does that, I've no doubt that a bigger club will come in and snatch him away from Motherwell.
Yeah, Connor Stolaric says Fraser Forster will return to Celtic. Mark my words. So there you are, Connor. We will never.
It's a big decision for him, Peter, because obviously we're all talking about. Tam's talking about the difference in the money, and we know he must enjoy being at Celtic with the crowds and everything, and playing in the European stage. But there's another side of it as well. Would you rather be in a team going up to play Ross County or Hamilton Accies or Kilmarnock, or be in a team that's going to play Chelsea and Arsenal and Man United and everything that goes with that? That'll have to be in the back of his mind as well. That where is he going to get the best football and where's he going to enjoy it? Again, I take the European football. You can't beat it at Celtic, the European stuff. But there are other things that he's got to decide as well. First of all, he's got to decide he's got to be at a team where he's playing first-team football, and he keeps on going on about, I want back into the English side. I know I said, he's got a better chance of playing for England to get selected down there. Somebody said, no, he got picked for England when he was at Celtic. All I'm saying is I think he's got a better chance playing against better players and putting in a right shift down in England to get.
He's not playing, but Peter, Roughie.
No, but that's one of the decisions.
He's number 2, Angus Gunn.
That's one of the decisions he's got to make. That's another thing. So what I'm saying is, it's not just money; it's all these other things he's got to consider as well.
Yeah, he hasn't been in Southampton's thoughts forever and a day.
2 years.
Southampton are boxing clever on this. They're thinking, if we can somehow wangle 2 or 3 million out of Celtic for a third choice goalkeeper, yahoo, let's get on with it. But I don't think Celtic are for biting on this one. I think they're waiting and saying, right, we've agreed some sort of fee with Southampton. Now it's down to you. Are you going to? And he's going to have to take a cut in wages because he's not coming up on 70, 80, 90 grand, whatever everybody wants to speculate is his wage. Hi to James Anderson. Greetings from Japan. fan. There's lots of people right across the globe who join us and give us lots of their thoughts on football. Podge McLeod, this is not the show for you, Podge. This is a show where basically lots of fans come on and talk football. It wasn't against me this time; it was against you, Tam. But I just thought I'd defend.
It's great.
Yeah.
Listen, it's great, Peter, isn't it, when you're not getting it and they're giving Tam
I love it. I know, I love it. I mean, when Tam's on,
I've taken the pressure right off of Fergie boy.
You should have, Tam. The team man
he's being abusive. But nevertheless, I have to say, remember, try and show a modicum of decency and make your point. You don't need to use abusive language. After all, you want to make your parents proud, don't you? There's a wee line for everybody, Roughie, just to throw it out there. See if there's anybody with a moral compass left in Scottish football. I don't think there is. Anyway, over and above that, Roughie, apart from anything else, I want to get your thoughts on the one that there's a possibility, and I think it's becoming very, very vague on what's available, but there's a possibility there could be one-off Sky Games on a pay-per-view situation. I think fans are looking and saying, wait a minute, are we buying a season ticket? And the season ticket gets us a certain amount of games behind closed doors that are, exclusive to us because we can't get to the games. Then can some people buy a one-off game? It's getting to the point where I honestly am looking and thinking, I wonder how this is all going to pan out. Somebody needs to put this somebody would need to put this on a grid and say, if you've got a season ticket, you're getting this. If you can't get to games and you want to watch them one-off, you're getting this. I don't think that's fully explained before we get to the start of the season. Am I just the only one thick on this one?
No, I thought it was great, the idea that the clubs could stream their own games and bring income. I thought that was the reason why we were doing this, was to bring income into the clubs. The supporters picking up that challenge, and I would like to think that the Sky company, who have paid millions and millions of pounds, would have something to say about that, because if you're signing in and paying your own club, you're not going to be taking out a Sky subscription as well. I would think, so I think there has to be a lot of negotiations done on that side.
Yeah, but there is a market out there, Barry, of thousands upon thousands of people who can't afford a season ticket, who can't afford a full Sky subscription, and they're there and they're available on what I would call your classic Now TV deal. Here it is for a tenner. I mean, in Europe, I don't know if the company's surviving or not, but the company in Europe, in America, DAZN, gave you the opportunity to buy a game for a tenner, and that was you. You didn't. You weren't into any subscription.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my head, Peter. Listen, you know how expensive season books are. You know how expensive Sky is, and a lot of people in this climate just now, money's tight. So we've got to think about these fans that have not got a lot of money, and as you says, a one-off game live $9.99, and then they're not buying themselves into a subscription for a month or 3 months. I think that's got to be made available for the fans that can't afford your Sky TV and your season book.
Yeah, and Cheryl, our journalist on PLZ Soccer, has mentioned here on the feed to me, fans who don't have a virtual season ticket won't be able to access live games through the season ticket model, but the SPFL are considering allowing non-televised fixtures to be made available through a pay-per-view model. It's understood Sky, who've backed obviously this league to 160 million over 5 years, have no objections to clubs looking to generate further revenue as we obviously look to try and work our way through financially the COVID situation. Niall Kane has said to us, Peter, is there any chance we can get T-shirts made for Christmas? Saying this is not the show for you.
I'm my bestseller. Red, white and blue for Barry.
Yeah, it's red, white and blue. I know.
Can I just say something? What's his favourite word? I love, if you're thinking the same way as me, what's Peter's favourite word? After he says, this is not the show for you, what does he say?
Go on.
Come on.
I don't know.
Think about it. Think about it and come back to me. I love it when he says it.
No.
Yeah, I just think you've got to be. I mean, the brilliant thing is, I actually sometimes go back home at night and think, maybe I'm just being an old fuddy-duddy Roughie about this. You know, me who fights at tennis and fights at football. I mean, for God's sake, but you can put across a passionate point of view without using abusive language or just being downright derogatory. I think the other thing about it, which we always mention on it, and because I'm an ambassador for Show Racism the Red Card, we should just say no racists, no bigots, no abusive people. This is not the show for you. It's just a classic. It's a great T-shirt, Roughie. I mean, it's
a fantastic T-shirt, and I'm trying to. Barry's got me going now. I can't think of what that word is, so he'll have to tell us before the end of the show. Unless you're going to do it, go do it again.
God, tell us. Well, what is it then?
No, I'll let the guys think.
Tam's waiting here.
Tam's
Steam coming out my ears. Think about it.
Show. What's the words you always call them? What is? This is not the show for you. Yous are what?
Cretins. No.
What is it?
He's got
It's it cretins? Yes, I know.
There's either cretins or morons. Cretins or morons. That's his two favourite.
Absolutely. I mean, it's honestly. I mean, the thing about it is that there's the 99% of the people who watch us, and the figures are fantastic. I kid you not. On Facebook and YouTube, absolutely magnificent. We are Scotland's #1 football show, and we're on 5 days a week talking about Scottish football and, of course, European and world football. And the 99% of the people are thoroughly decent, well brought up, good manners, love their club and love all the clubs, because as you know, guys, we have guests from right across the board talking about every club. If you want to talk about it, put the point to them.
But you're right, Peter. I watch the show on a Tuesday and a Thursday, whether I'm out and about, I watch it on the phone and see the comments. I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10 the comments are great. It's just a few idiots you get, but you get that.
That's because I'm not on a Tuesday and a Thursday.
I wouldn't like to see a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday.
Exactly. Don't worry. Don't let me show you. Scott Callanan says Peter's favourite.
Wait a minute. I'm going to get my laptop. I'm going to actually log in.
You should actually. It is funny. It is funny. You'll enjoy it.
I'm only kidding. I'll end up swearing like Tam did a couple of weeks ago.
Scott Callanan says Peter's favourite sentence is, "I'll stop you right there, Roughie."
Yes.
That's a legal challenge.
Yes, absolutely, Roughie. You're absolutely right. Got to make sure I'm clued up on that. Barry, what's the score with the new Rangers badge? What's this all about?
I don't know.
There's a campaign going on all over the place. There's like a Batman beam onto one of the big cranes at the Clyde, and then there's another social media image where people make Rangers and then the new badge. I was thinking, have I missed something here? What's happening?
Yeah, I was the same, Peter. I had a few text messages this morning with the picture. There's a new Rangers badge. There's a new big old singing and dancing thing. I don't know where it's came from, Peter. I didn't even see it coming. I honestly, I couldn't tell you. If you look at it, there's no major differences to me, is there really?
Yeah. Yep.
It's not as staunch as the old badge.
No, it's not. It's not.
Barry's raging.
You would need to put the old badge up against the new badge. You would.
Yeah, we'll do that later actually to see the difference.
Just to see the difference. But as I said, Peter, I was surprised that I didn't know anything like that was going to be happening. So
and
it's
when
not staunch enough for me.
Well, I was going to say, when we get This Is Not the Show for You, will we just get yours on the side of your arm?
Aye.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Staunch.
Look at Tam. See if Tam could reach through on the screen and just punch you, he would, wouldn't he? He's unbelievable. Staunch. Kevin Judge says, "Hi from Singapore. Great show, guys. Hopefully Celtic can get the keeper situation sorted. All the guys and girls you get on are brilliant." Kevin, we do. We go right across the board. I mean, Sean, I think, is a Wraith Rovers fan, a Falkirk fan. Sorry, Sean, as well. Lots of people want to talk about their favourite club. And sometimes, actually, I think we should do a feature getting ever closer to the start of the season on the lower leagues as well, Roughie, because, great
Thistle
clubs
will bend
like
them.
Falkirk. Well, exactly, because great clubs like Falkirk as well. So many great clubs will be starting with a 27-game season, Roughie.
Yeah, I think the reason why we're, 17th October, 21st October, is because most of the teams in the first and second division are hoping that fans will be allowed into the stadium. I think that's one of the main reasons why it is that date. We think things might be relaxed a wee bit, but yes, it's certainly I think these teams in the first and second division desperately need crowds in as much as anybody else. So, no, I think it will be a competitive. I think most of these games are, once the football starts back again, the fans will turn up if they get the chance, and it'll be very, very competitive.
Yeah,
Peter, can
absolutely.
I just say something about Falkirk? That's one club a lot of people forget about. I felt for Falkirk. 1 point behind Wraith Rovers. A lot of people are saying like they feel sorry for that. Certain clubs that they mention it. I don't think Falkirk's been mentioned enough for me. They're a point behind. There's still a lot of football to be played. So they were a club that must feel a bit hard done by. Falkirk.
Yeah,
good
absolutely.
club. Tam's played there. You know what they're like. They're a good club, Tam.
Great support as well. They were getting 5,000 in League One, 5,000 at the home games. Phenomenal support.
Brilliant.
Big club, so no.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, the Old Firm are looking for a few friendlies to get under their belt. Barry, clearly they're waiting for the green light. Hopefully it'll come tomorrow from the Scottish Government that they can get on with some of the friendlies. I think Rangers are thinking about playing Hamilton in a friendly as well.
Yeah, Peter, you can do it, and the guys will back me up in this. You could do so much running. You can play in small-sided games, but listen, the proper fitness is through games. That's where you get your top-level match fitness, and not just Rangers and Celtic. Every single club in that Premier League will be desperate to get a lot of minutes in the players' legs before the kick-off happens, because it's really important, Peter. And as I said, you've seen it down in England. I think the first 2 or 3 games, the standard of each team was going to get better. I think you're going to see similar up here.
Yeah, one of your old gaffers, Barry, Archie Knox, has mentioned that he thinks Rangers, in light of the Nikola Katic situation, they need a kind of a Richard Gough-style defender. I think he's 100% correct. If you could even get a player who's half the man Richard Gough was, then I think there's a real chance of winning the league. You need a leader. They need somebody in there who's an absolute leader. It's got a bit of you, a bit of Richard Gough, a bit of a Terry Butcher about him. I don't see that at the moment.
Yeah, listen, I says it Monday, Peter, with Katic, a badge in the cruciate. It's going to take him 5-6 months to get back. So they'll need to bring in a centre back. And listen, I believe the spine of the team has got to be solid. It's got to have leaders in it. And that's what Rangers need to have this season. And I seen Archie's article this morning, and listen, I couldn't agree with him anymore. I says the same thing on Monday, that Rangers will need to bring in a top centre half.
Oh,
is he off?
Peters went off.
No, Peters went off. We'll be back.
No, we'll be back. Don't worry about that.
I don't think it's something, Barry, that Rangers counted on. Spending any money on. I think they would rather have spent it elsewhere. So
they're still they spent. I think it was £3 million on Hilander, and we never seen too much of him. He got a sore one. He got a bad foot injury. So I can't really comment in terms of how he's going to be, Peter. But listen, if the managers went out and spent £3 million, he must think he's a decent player. But listen, time will tell when the season starts back. But I think you need competition all over the pitch. And as I says, the players that Rangers are going to be bringing in have got to be players that come in for me in the starting 11.
Yeah, the Joint Response Group has just released a statement. It's awaiting approval for the Scottish Government on clubs being able to participate in bounce games and friendly matches prior to the first round of Scottish Premiership fixtures. That's just out. So clearly, Tam, you need those games to get your match fitness up. Fitness is one thing, but match fitness is totally another thing.
Yeah, Barry hit the nail on the head there. You know, you can run as much as you want and play five-a-side. You know, you've got to play 11-a-side on the big pitch. You've got to get games in your legs. I always felt that in pre-season when you were doing I was murdered at long running. I hated long running. But when it came to the games, you know, that's where I felt as if I was going to get my fitness, going to get my sharpness, not the longer stuff. So 2 or 3 games under your belt before the season starts, I feel is really important, so you go and hit the ground running, because it's important for all the clubs, particularly Celtic and Rangers, to get off to a flyer.
And see, another thing, Peter, see in a normal pre-season, and the guys will back me up on this again, you normally play 6 to 8 games in a normal pre-season.
Yep.
I mean, these teams are only going to be playing maybe 2 or 3, so they're not going to be at the levels that they would normally be at. So that people have got to take that into consideration as well.
Yep, absolutely. I am listening to you guys. Just every now and then I try and read as many of the points of view, Roughie, just to give people a mention. And this one here is Stuart Campbell, who says, Peter, can you ask the guys, do you think Graham Souness will be back as a Rangers director with investment? This is obviously the belief that Rangers, Graham Souness has got a wad of cash that he wants to, burn, Barry.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I think it was last week you mentioned it on the show that there was word of him coming up. Listen, if he's want to come up and spend some cash on Rangers, I'm sure he'll be made welcome with open arms. Can I tell you something? Spend a couple of
quid. Can I tell you something though, Tam? Just like for example, last night, 172 million on or 127 million on the Euro Millions. I can't remember what the figure was. If I had won the Euro Millions, the last thing I would do would be invest in a football club. Are you kidding me? I'd be so far away, it'd be unbelievable. Tam, would you honestly invest money in football clubs? You need to be off your nut.
No, absolutely not. I would go to Las Vegas. I would go to Las Vegas for a month. Come back skint. But I'd have a good month.
Tam, can I tell you something? God's honest truth. If I win the Euro Millions, I will put you in a flat in Las Vegas with a tiger and Mike Tyson. It's as simple as that. We are going to have one heck of a party. You'll have no tooth. You'll be absolutely wrecked. But what a party we're going to have. It's as simple as that. Roughie, it will be fantastic. Everybody can come to it. That's the thing about it. We've all been having a chat. You think
it's great you would bring me.
No, I would definitely take you, Tam. You think about the companies and the people that are at work that love nights out and their staff parties and their camaraderie. Even football teams. Barry, you know what it's like? Sometimes you take the team away for a bonding session just to get them used to it. I know Walter would do that with the 9 in a row side, just to give them that chance to let off gas, but to bond with each other. A team that wins together, fights together, all that stuff.
Yeah, certainly even pre-season, Peter, you go away and you put the hard work in. And I'm not saying at the end that the boys are allowed to go out and get absolute plastered. I think it's good to let the boys let off a wee bit of steam. 2 or 3 beers, get to know each other. People open up a wee bit as well. Guys that are normally quite quiet in the dressing room. So I was always big in that. The teams that I played in we made sure that at least once a month, even after the season started, that we would get out and bond together, because it's good to forget about football for a few hours and have a team night out and 20 boys together and have a laugh and a joke. And I'm sure the guys would totally agree with me on that one. It's important for me that.
Matthew Lingard says, I can just imagine Roughie in Las Vegas. Yeah, so can we. That's the problem, because obviously we'd have to try and spend the last 2 days of a trip in Las Vegas looking for him. It's as simple as that. Anyway.
No, it's fine, Tim.
Yeah, Ronnie Chapman says, I would put 100 million into Rangers if he won the lottery. 100 million. That would really put a dent in it, believe me. Absolutely. 100 million would do that. Of course, lots of people just commenting on that. staff parties. It's always there. There's one here that says, Peter, can you ask the team if Martin Skrtel would be a good addition to Rangers? He's an experienced player, a leader, and it would boost the confidence. That's from Scott Mack. I mean, Skrtel's name has been mentioned in the last couple of years, Roughie, with Rangers.
But he went somewhere. I think he went
somewhere.
He only lasted about 2 weeks. I think he only lasted about 2 or 3 weeks, and he broke down and he had a serious injury. So no, I think that was one of the reasons that Rangers never took him on board. Obviously, the medical side of it, and they were quite right. I mean, if you'd have got him, at his prime, that would have been an ideal situation. I thought he was a tremendous fantastic centre half. But later on, I think Rangers have stopped, or should stop, going down that road of taking people, big names that are at the end of their career, because I don't.
Bruno Alves for one.
Yeah,
there's one.
I think they don't.
Philip Sendros, remember him?
Hey, calm down.
He was shocking.
Let's not start mentioning, the people that were absolutely abysmal that are signings, because it's only a 4-hour show. We haven't got enough time to name them all. By the way,
easy.
Sendros had some pedigree,
No, but when you think about it, I mean, when you think about clubs that have bought players that have been, you could do a 4-hour show on some of the players that have come in that you think they were going to be good, and then it just didn't work out for them. I'm not just talking about Rangers. I mean, Celtic signed Raphael, and he lived up to his name. I knew you were going to say that, by the way. Honestly,
that's his name, Peter.
I know that. The boy out of East Kilbride ever leave East Kilbride?
Yeah, one of the worst ones Celtic took, and I still hadn't heard any reasons why, was the Swedish boy who played with Arsenal. What was that all about? I think he played one. I think he played one game down at Berwick Rangers or something like that.
Yeah,
and never kicked the ball after that.
Yeah, Freddie Lundberg was a good player. I think his legs had gone by then. It just gone. Sometimes if you're at a club for a long period of time, you become a legend. Sometimes it's very difficult to recreate the magic elsewhere. And it just doesn't happen for one reason.
I tell you, I played against him down in England. I was thinking to myself, this guy's a proper player. Thomas Gravison, when he came up to Celtic.
Yep,
he struggled up here. And he was a top player in the Premier League in England. I mean, I come up against him a number of times, and I was thinking, what a player he is.
Yeah, he played for Real Madrid as well, but I think he's a multi-millionaire now.
He's in Las Vegas. He's a professional poker player.
Yeah, we need to Barry, we need to look him up when we get there. It's as simple as that.
I know, that's why I'm saying he was a top player. So
can you imagine a night out, the team photograph with Roughie and Thomas Gravison there? It's honestly, the only thing that's missing is what do you call it? What's the name of that guy who was in The Hangover? Bradley Cooper. That's the only guy that's missing from this. Now, I think he's right, Archie Knox. They need somebody, they need a leader, and it's not there yet. And I think if they could sign and get that player to emerge, it would really help other players around him, because sometimes, as you know, you did it yourself, Barry, but sometimes players that are maybe not the standard that Rangers or big clubs should have, if you're a good captain, you can get every last ounce out of them, and they perform way beyond people's expectations. That's what a good captain does.
Yeah, listen, people that are no top end, that are good players, you need to have a way of making them feel that they are top players, Peter. That's what you have to do. You have to maybe put your arm round about them and mollycoddle them and make them believe that they're the best. That's what you've got to do at times as captain. Captain's not just about grilling people and getting on people's back. Also, you've got to suss out, there's players that can handle it. Secondly, there's some players that don't like criticism, so you've got to manage them in a different way.
Yeah.
Can I ask Barry? Let me ask Barry. Do you think James Tavernier is an ideal Rangers captain?
I don't know, Peter. Roughie, sorry, I wouldn't have been in the dressing room. It's different in the dressing room. A captain. Sometimes I played with captains that were quite quiet on the pitch, but in the dressing room they were real driven and they spoke a lot and they got on at you. But when they went out, they made the ball do the talking, if you know what I mean. The old phrase. They weren't really ranters and ravers. As when I was on the part, I just moaned at every single person I could clap my eyes on. But that's just the way.
Still does it?
Oh, so sorry to
but
say.
I found it drove me on, and it drove the people round about me on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you've narrowed it down to just being on the park, as Tam said there. The other thing I was going to say to you guys is, remember, if you are getting involved in any kind of pre-season, try and follow Barry's example, which is basically you've got to go out and run. You've got to do physical exercise. The last thing you want to be doing is drinking any kind of a Herbal Life or strawberry milkshakes, just to try and get yourself fit and lose a bit of weight. That's all I'm saying, Roughie. The last thing we need is somebody suddenly trying to lose the pounds drinking a Slim Fast. You've got to go out and run.
Barry says if I lose 2 stone, he'll sign me for Kelty. So,
well,
I want the milkshake.
Oh, God.
He'll
give me 2 ton a week.
Honestly, Roughie, I spotted it there. I thought, he thinks he's
how
going
did
to
you
get
spot
away with
that?
that there.
My God.
I spotted it. I was all over it. Anyway, George Humphrey says, hi from sunny Portugal. Hi, George. Great to have you on. He says,
Portugal.
Any comments regarding the statement from Kyle Lafferty and Noel Whelan yesterday? Gerrard nailed on for Liverpool, and Lafferty saying that Michael Beale was potentially, the replacement as Rangers manager, which, from my point of view, I don't think there's a cat's chance in hell. No harm to Michael Beale, but I don't see you going from Gerrard and suddenly Rangers fans then looking towards his assistant. Am I right or am I wrong, Barry?
No, I've got to agree with you in terms of Gerrard going to Liverpool. I can see Klopp being there for another couple of years, even if he's won the Champions League, Peter, and he's won obviously the Premier League. I think he's still a driven guy. He'll want to go, and there's no point in winning it once and then obviously the next year, the year after. I'm sure Klopp is that type of guy. He'll want to stay and win a number of Premier League titles.
Yeah. A big hi to lots of the guys on YouTube as well. John Elvin, thanks, John, for joining us on the programme. Robert Dixon there as well. Kenneth McClary. There's lots of people. 9th Legion. Stephen Coulter, who's saying hi from rainy Sea Hill. Now, I'm not sure where that is. That could be Carlton Hill. It could be anywhere. Cairn Hill, you name it. I'm not quite sure where Stephen is, but we're delighted that you are joining us on the programme as well on YouTube. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. It could be Cranhill, Tam. You're absolutely right.
Sandy
well.
Hills.
All right, everybody, shut up now. It's just getting a bit silly. any hill. Now,
Newt Hill.
The other thing
Hill.
was,
There you go.
there's the team. The
Newt Hill.
Toy. We're getting back together. Anyway, apart from anything else, Roughie, I noticed on the football, you watch quite a bit of it as well, and so does Barry. I noticed one of the Lazio players was sent off in the game for biting a defender. Now, I don't know about you, Roughie, but what type of player thinks... I mean, Suarez was the classic, but what type of player thinks, I think I'm going to bite him?
Yeah, no, I don't get that at all. There's a place for biting, and there's a place not to bite, and it's not on the football.
My God!
Get
him off the show. Get him off the show. He's a disgrace. Filthy old man.
Honestly, you're just...
Wow.
By the way. It's on that.
Do you know? I could actually see that coming. He actually starts to laugh.
I know. He laughs at his own. He laughs at his own jokes.
No, but you're right. Why would you? I mean, why would you bite something? That is just ridiculous. That and spit.
I'm glad you said that, Roughie, because the two things that annoy the life out of me is, well, the biting, I couldn't get it. I mean, Suarez defied belief. But spitting is another one. I mean, I remember the Rudy Voller, Frank Rijkaard escapade.
I remember
it's
that.
just not. I just cannot. It's
that was a beauty, right in the wig.
Yeah, it was actually, but it was just, it's despicable.
No,
I don't
shocking.
know. And
do you know what,
Peter?
See, spitting, that's got to be an automatic 10 game ban. I don't care what anybody says. See, if you spit at somebody, hang out of order.
You're right. Listen, what's happening with your old mate, Jig, Lee McCulloch? Looks as if he's on his way to Hearts, the big man, to join up with Robbie Nielsen again. I think that's fair comment, eh?
Aye, well, do you know what? I actually texted him on Sunday to see about a couple of players that had been let go by Dundee United, and nothing was said. He just gave me his thoughts on the players. But I'm not surprised. I think Jig enjoyed it under Robbie up there. It was a pretty, well, as you know, it was a successful season. We're getting promoted. And I'm sure Robbie, I know Robbie had a lot of trust in Jig. So I'm not surprised that he probably end up at Hearts with Robbie Nielsen, Peter.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the big man. I think he's got something to offer. I don't think he fancies the management anymore, to be honest with you.
I think the Kilmarnock, the way that ended, Peter left a bit of sour taste in his mouth about managing, and I think he's done the right thing. He's went in and become a coach, and he's in the background and he's out in the pitch with his trackie on and obviously doing certain sessions. I think he's enjoying that side of it, Peter.
Yeah, absolutely. International upsets on this day-to-day, Roughie, and I remember watching it and thinking to myself, I cannot believe what is happening. The Brazil side, with David Luiz in tow, were dismantled by 7-1 by Germany. Do you remember watching it, Roughie?
Yeah, I do remember watching it, and I don't think I could believe what was in front of me. We all know that Brazil are a fantastic attacking side with great individuals, but for me, David Luiz, the headless chicken, comes to mind. I honestly don't know where he was playing. I don't know if he was playing midfield, right winger, centre half, and I don't think he knew either. He was the main downfall for that. He was just posted missing at nearly every goal.
There are certain Brazilians that I think to myself, you must have got in the team because you are the cousin of the coach, or there's something in the background. David Luiz is the luckiest player I have ever come across, and the only other Brazilian that I looked upon as a player that I thought, how the hell did you get into that international side, was a player that played against Roughie. Do you remember big Serginho, the centre forward? Yep. Serginho. He was like a big cart horse. I mean, he just looked nothing like a Brazilian in the 1982 World Cup. He was.
They still scored past Roughie.
No, he never.
I don't know.
No, he didn't. No,
he never.
I don't know if he played with Brazil, but remember Jardel? Rangers signed Jardel. The guy, the centre forward.
They were trying to sign him for the years, weren't they?
Yeah,
but
and
to
he
be
came
fair,
in.
Mario Jardel had a good reputation. I think he was at Porto, Barry.
Aye, but when he came over, Peter, you think the Brazilians technically was going to be great. I was taken aback. He wasn't that type of player. He was more a big, powerful type player.
Yeah.
So I was expecting a lot better of him. I think he did play in the national team, didn't he, Jardel?
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing.
Again, Peter, you'll correct me again here. I know you will. Most of the good Brazilian centre forwards were all wee guys. They were all wee sent like Babito and all them. They were all wee.
Romario.
Always. I'm not saying that again.
Who was that?
Babito. That used to be? Was that Bibo? That used to be the face before Facebook and Twitter, wasn't it? Bibo. Is that?
What did you call him?
Babito.
Babito.
Something like that. They were all wee. They weren't 6 foot. They weren't 6 foot strikers. The ones that I'm thinking of, they were really fantastic.
Well, to be fair,
I know his name.
No, Bebeto.
Bebeto.
Anyway,
well, come on.
Yeah.
Just
it's the same as Greg's.
I'm not giving you. Well, you did ask me to correct it.
Yes.
Yeah. To be fair, George.
What about the Rangers? What about the Rangers centre forward, Roughie? What's he called?
The Rangers centre forward.
Current one.
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah.
Morales.
There's another one. I have to say though, I don't know if one thing I do remember about Mario Jardel, and I remember it because he came in the week before when all the talk was about him going to sign for Rangers, and I remember being in the press box, and the entire press box
His
was
missus.
standing on the gantry. Oh, Tam, I'm so glad you mentioned it.
Ah,
Everybody's jaw.
unbelievable. Aye.
She was world class. She was absolutely stunning. I mean, he's the first guy who sat down, and I'm looking at the Scottish photographers, and they're all looking at his wife, who was an absolute stunner. I mean, it was just unbelievable. She was absolutely fantastic. But still, that's what happens when you marry a welder. So, the next one here is a lot of people saying they're enjoying Roughie's pronunciation. Tomato, Bebeto, Babito, you name it. It's all there. So, anyway, apart from anything
I was
else,
going to make an attempt. I was going to make an attempt at Tostao.
Yeah.
Who?
Tostao is fine.
Is that okay?
Tostao is
right.
fine. Tostao is fine. One of the famous Brazilian players from the 1970 World Cup side. Anyway, have a look here at some of the other international upsets that have happened.
6 years on from Germany's 7-1 humiliation of home nation Brazil at the World Cup, we look back on some of the biggest ever World Cup shocks. In 1966, this result put North Korea on the map. Arguably the biggest giant killing of all time, the Italians were left humiliated and defeated by a solitary goal. Scotland's greatest ever World Cup win came at the expense of a magnificent Dutch team who made the final in '74 and at the end of this competition, and who could forget Archie Gemmel's goal. Diego Maradona's Argentina were world champions and favourites again in 1990, but not even the magician could stop a Roger Miller-inspired Cameroon from beating them in the group stage. In 2002, France were holders of the World Cup and the Euros, but delivered one of the worst defences of the trophy ever, not even scoring a goal. A relatively unknown Senegal were impressive and won thanks to Papa Bouba Diop. And 4 years on from glory in Brazil, the Germans crashed out to South Korea and Russia. Having lost the opener to Mexico, it was a must-win game. Then, in a moment of madness at 1-0 down, goalkeeper Manuel Neuer lost the ball on the halfway line and Korea made it 2, knocking the holders out.
Yeah, I thought Gabriel would stick in the Netherlands game. Why not? We're patriotic about it. Wasn't that much? It was a bit of a shock considering what had happened before, Roughie, that we were going to beat.
Yeah.
I mean, beating Holland was the best of times.
Yeah, I think if you went on the previous two results, obviously getting into play, possibly the second favourites, I don't think anybody thought we were going to win that day. But it just goes to show you when things happen on the day, you know, if you've got quality players on your side, these things can happen. That's why I think nowadays, he mentioned Senegal there and the African nations, they've come on leaps and bounds now. They're not underdogs at any tournament that they go to now. They've got quality players that are playing at top European and English sides.
Yeah. Dave Edwards says, "Hi Peter, can you give my wee mate Brian Lynch a big hello? He watches the show every night. We are in Western Australia." So Dave Edwards and Brian Lynch, we absolutely value your support for the programme. Thank you to each and every one of you from near and far supporting us. Don't forget to like, share and follow. And you can also, of course, subscribe to us. And we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter as well at PLZ Soccer, and with Periscope you can watch the programme on your Twitter feed as well as Facebook and YouTube. So you can really access the programme right across the board, Roughie, and people put the show on their big telly so they get a clear picture of yourself and what's going on behind you as well. It's great on the big telly. You go onto YouTube with your smart TV now and you can get the programme crystal clear, Roughie.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And in fact, the boy up in Tesco said to me the other day there, how can you afford a submarine to be on that Periscope? Peter must be absolutely raking it in.
Oh no. But, he's going to put that in his new after dinner speech, isn't he?
Oh,
it's a new gag for him.
Tam, that's exactly
just
what
horrendous.
I was thinking. The whole show is going to change. When his first after dinner speech will be murder. It's as simple as that. But let's not
guys,
forget, by the way, Roughie's available for after dinner stuff.
Yeah. When is that looking to get back? Because a few people that I know have been mentioning it to me. You were going to dinners. I'm talking about your after dinner stuff. When is it going to be starting back? When he's looking at?
I think the good news is, Barry, that I think we're going to do a bit of a roadshow. We're going to go on the road. Tam, Roughie, yourself, Tam Cowan, and we're going to do an evening with. And obviously we're going to give away more than a good few prizes, and that's scheduled for the start of the year. So I think that's going to be a great night, Tam. We'll get everybody in, have a wee dinner, the lot. But as far as anybody going doing dinners,
I'm talking about the boys.
I'm
talking about the boys individually, like going to their dinners and doing their wee gigs at sportsmen's dinners. Is that looking the turn of the year like?
Yeah, I think the really good speakers are January.
It's the same as the football.
Tam, maybe
same as
Tam mid-July next year.
It'll be a government thing.
I'll get one next month. I'll get one next month.
I was just wondering. Do you know what? A couple of people actually have pulled me up at the shops and says there was like sportsmen's dinners. Are you any idea when they're going to be on? I was like, I've not got a clue, mate. Not got a clue.
Plus, of course, the other thing about
is that in the Asda Lark call?
Aye. You were definitely used 3-1 there.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been there before. I was there months ago with 2 snipers and a submachine gunner. The after dinner stuff is where a lot of clubs' sportsmen's dinners make a lot of revenue as well. But I mean, that's the thing about it. And I'm not talking about professional clubs. I'm talking about lots of the junior clubs and amateur clubs. It's a real blow.
We had a Zoom meeting last week with the committee, and that's one of the things that they rely on, is a couple of sportsmen's dinners that pulls in a fair bit of money for the club. And I'm not just talking about our club, Kelty. And you think about the hundreds of junior clubs and even League 1 and League 2 teams that they heavily rely on the sportsmen's dinners.
Obviously, there's people listening who want dinners. We won't let them down. No.
All 3 of us are available.
By the way, can I tell you, if ever there was a desperate plea there, it was Roughie. Unbelievable. You and Sam. Niall Kane has really kind of, I think, hit the nail on the head. He says, I miss the sportsmen's dinners. We'll need to get Tam McManus up. We've never heard of him. So that's great.
Have I heard of him or heard him?
Whatever way you want to take it.
Where is that law? Is he knowing law?
Kirlook.
Is that Kirlook?
Yeah, right. Kirlook.
Bandit country.
No, it's a good bunch of lads up there.
It's good.
Great. Great.
I've been up in Kirlook. It's all right. Good golf club and all.
It's not bad.
Absolutely. So a lot of people mentioning that, and I think it's great when you get back to these dinners. There's some great after dinner speakers. I mean, Geggs for me, John Gagan is just. He's just top drawer. He's absolutely magnificent. There's so many other good ones that people are missing out on at the moment. We hope that we don't get a second wave. We certainly hope that as COVID slowly but surely, hopefully, disappears in this country, we can get back to some kind of normal. The one thing we do want, Roughie, is to get back into the grounds and watch football. We're waiting. Maybe tomorrow there'll be a chance to play friendlies. And then next week after, hopefully, little trials of 4,000 and 5,000 people maybe spread around a big crowd.
Yeah, I listened to Nicola Sturgeon today. She's doing her utmost, to relax everything, but still be very, very cautious. And you can sense with things that are happening, the beer gardens, people out at shops. It's beginning not to get back to 100% where we were, but you would like to think that football will be on the agenda. I think it'll be very, very slow. I think it'll be gradual. You won't see 40,000, 50,000 people in stadiums for a long, long time, but certainly there will be some people getting in, and I think baby steps is the way ahead. So we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, don't forget you can take baby steps as well as baby steps. Whatever one takes you.
He's getting marbles in the mouth today, Roughie. He's having a shocker.
He's having a meal, isn't he? He's just
he must have had a few last night. Roughie.
A few this morning, I think.
George Mullen has said, do you think we'll get any new patter from Roughie? George, calm your jets. He had a brilliant script worked out in 1978 and he's sticking with it. You don't change a winning recipe, Roughie, do you? No, but obviously lockdown, I've thought about some new stuff.
Oh no.
They've
all been thrown in the bin, so you're right.
Oh, George.
As a
there's
boy,
your
a
answer.
boy, as a boy, I was out working. We had a nightmare, an absolute nightmare one night, and no laughs whatsoever. Sat down
was
and
it?
uttered those words. I can't believe that. These gags are all tried and trusted. So stick to the tried and trusted.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Who was it, Roughie?
Tam.
No, don't mention it. No,
I knew he was going to say that.
I know the classic line, Tam, that you know when you've had an absolute stinker is when somebody said, "It's a tough crowd. It's a really tough crowd.
Aye.
They just didn't get you. They didn't get you. They
It's not a
didn't
football
think
crowd.
you were about."
Aye.
Another one, Tam. Absolutely. Anyway, apart from anything else, to the people who are living out with the UK, America, Australia, Japan, Vietnam, you name it. We've had so many people calling us. Thank you for supporting us on the programme. Hopefully, if you've got anything, a little wish, birthday wish or whatever, we'll do our best every now and then to give it a mention. And if you've got anything you want to talk about passionately about your club, we will discuss it on the programme. Special guests coming up as ever. We try and get special guests on as many nights as we possibly can as we get closer to the season. Of course, we'll ramp up most of the interviews tomorrow. We'll hear from Mickey Mellon, who's the Dundee United boss, who's been speaking in the last half hour about taking on the role as Dundee United manager and the expectations he has. And of course, obviously, the expectations of the Dundee United fans returning to the Premiership. I'm being a little bit presumptuous, I know, but I think Dundee United will be in the Premiership for the new season, barring, of course, Roughie and the cohorts at Hearts winning the case. But Dundee United will have expectations with Mickey Mellon. Thanks for that, Tam. But we'll have all the interviews from managers and players up and down the country on the Football Show, and no shortage of banter. Hopefully you're enjoying this new style we have at the moment, with COVID having a major effect on all the programmes. If you're on Facebook, like, share and follow if you can. We really would appreciate it. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe. It costs you absolutely nothing. Share it with your friends and join the football family. From Tam McManus, Roughie, Barry Ferguson and myself, Peter Martin, once again, thank you for watching.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.